I mean, it's always fun to do something a little new. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today guys, we're doing something a little new here on the channel, a mid-month check-in. Before we get into that, please do all that YouTube nonsense, like, comment, subscribe, you know how it works, it's always greatly appreciated, and let's jump right on into this mid-month review. These are kind of something that I'm looking to do going forward, either a mid-month review or a weekly reading wrap-up. Please let me know in the comments down below which you would prefer. These are kind of a little bit more informal. I have been doing them for my patrons for probably about over a year now, and I enjoy them quite a bit. But this is more just an unfiltered sort of what am I doing, how am I reading, what am I feeling about the reads, and where I'm kind of currently at mentally in the moment and things of that nature. So I did have a carryover from last month, which I finished. It was the first book I finished this month, and that was Winter Warriors by David Gemmell. And I really, really enjoyed this one. So much so that I did the audiobook and the physical read of this one, and I realized I was enjoying the physical read more, which is astonishing to me, because Sean Barrett is the narrator for this series, and he's amazing. He's an amazing narrator. And yet I was still enjoying reading it more physically. And so when I was reading it physically, it was a 5-star read. And when I was listening to Sean Barrett, it was like a 3.5, 4-star read. So I don't know if that was like a focus issue or what's going on. But this one was very cool. We get to see a lot more of like demons and stuff than we normally have within the Drenai series. A whole new cast of characters. You know, it follows the usual formula of like aging warriors and things of that nature. And their like last stand. It's very good. I really, really enjoyed it. I then did Thousand Li by Tao Wong. This is the 4th one in 1000 Li, and I'd meant to do this the month prior, and I just kind of squirreled into something else. And I'm very glad to have finally come back to 1000 Li. This is now, when I had kind of left the series, I'd only done the first couple. And that's because they were good, and it just wasn't calling to me at the time. And then about 6 months went by, and it called to me again. And so I read the 3rd book, and now I've read the 4th book. And this one is basically Wu Ying's master's been poisoned by a dark sect. And there's kind of like, you know, heretical sects, dark sects, and orthodox sects, and like how you, that's S-E-C-T-S. I'm not saying anything else. But they've kind of poisoned his master, and so his sect sister, his martial sister, and him kind of go on this quest to try and collect the ingredients for the antidote. And I thought this one wasn't going to quite land for me, because we seem to be spending a lot of time on just collecting one of the ingredients, and I thought the ending was going to be rushed. And it was a bit matter of fact, like it just kind of, the ending just kind of happens. But at the same time, like that's, the last kind of ingredients that were collected didn't feel rushed. Instead, it felt like the very ending kind of encounter was just kind of wrapped up. And I was just like, oh! But then we can just kind of move on. And so I'm interested to see what Book 5 has in store for Wu Ying. I really like cultivation fantasy, because I kind of grew up watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is kind of like that wire fu style martial arts with like, you know, you got martial arts who like purify their chi or their ki, and like they become immortal and stuff like that. So I enjoy all of that stuff, and so this is probably my favorite series that is currently doing that. Next up, I did Blood of Crows by Alex C. Pierce, and I need to sit down and record my dedicated book review for this one, because I loved this. This was amazing. This is book 1 in a series, and I don't know how long the series is going to be, but my goodness, I didn't think... Like, I bought this off of the recommendation of my friend, Tori. And I was just like, I'm going to trust you, Tori, that this is good. I normally don't like con games or thieves or stuff like that. But apparently, my conception or my preconception of what I like is incorrect. Because I loved pretty much everything about this. This follows Ren, who is this kind of thief who is part of an order of thieves, and then, like, you know, it's kind of like an indentured kind of military service type of deal. And then, like, he and his partner get out because, you know, his partner has an unpaid debt. then all of a sudden a serial killer pops up, and it just all pops off. There's some deeper history. There's some religious kind of God things going on there, where there's kind of like two halves. There's two brothers, and they've got like their own descendants, and their descendants have different powers and stuff like that. And it's very, very interesting. He's just kind of on the run. He's doing all sorts of like theft, a lot of fighting, a lot of self-discovery. It's just really, really, really good. If you haven't picked up Blood of Crows by Alice C. Pierce, I 100% recommend that you do so. And then also, so far this month, I'm about 70% into We Are the Dead by Mike Shackle. I thought I was going to be done with this by now, and yet here we are. I am not yet done with it, but I'm having a good time with it. It is very grimdark, and yet it keeps you enthralled. Like, it's never so bleak. Like, it'll be bleak, and then it'll give you hope. It'll be bleak, and then it'll give you hope. But it's very good. It's about a country that was in control. They got a little arrogant, and then, like, the people they thought were savages come in, and they just wipe them out and take control, and now they're in occupation, and they're trying to get out of occupation. It's very good. That is kind of where I'm at now on my reading. I do have other stuff. I'm in like a hyper ADHD moment right now where I'm kind of bouncing between 4 books. I'm at like 17% into Mark of the Fool, but I don't know if I'm going to finish Mark of the Fool this month. Mark of the Fool 4. I don't know why. Like, I was like, oh, this is really good, and I love this series, and I should continue it. And then I was like, but Wandering In. And I was like, well, the starting chapter of Wandering In 4 isn't my favorite. But then the second chapter was really good. So now I'm back to Wandering In instead of Mark of the Fool. I'm also doing Death of a Christmas Tree Salesman by Patricia Meredith. And it's a very cute, very funny, well, I'm not going to say it's funny. It's a very cute Christmas story, murder mystery. I'm loving it. I'm about 20% into that one. And then I think that's where we're at right now with all of my reading. I'm just kind of bouncing around all over the place, and I just need to kind of settle down, figure out what I'm reading, and I should be good. But that is my mid-month wrap-up and how my reading's going, how I'm feeling about my reading. Let me know in the comments how your month is going so far. And also, again, make sure to let me know if you want a weekly reading wrap-up or if you want a mid-month check-in. I value your feedback, and you are all greatly appreciated, and thank you for watching. As always, guys, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.